Beyond the Fairway, it is just. Does it get more special, y'all? Like it's Masters Week. I can begin to already hear Jim Nance. Hello, my homies. I don't never do that, but you know what I'm saying. Henni, welcome back. How you feeling, Henni?
I am much better, thank you. I'm still not 100%. I am one of those people that find it really hard to sit and do nothing when they're ill. So it's sort of my own fault. I've been ill for months. It just started with like a cough and then went into full-blown pneumonia. And
That's what a P,
yeah,
right?
I've just had
That's how
to,
you had that
exactly,
that P pneumonia.
with a P. I had to sit
Yeah.
myself down and just rest. So, but yeah,
Pneumonia.
I'm getting there.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, is it? I mean, how's the? I mean, everything feels good. Do we need to get a Halls contract real quick?
Yeah,
I mean,
we need to get
Ricola. I mean, is it what's called? It's Ricola.
Yeah,
it's
I think.
well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good knowledge. I have been hitting all the drugs as it pertains to throat and cough medicine. Just to clarify,
Oh no, they
just
gonna
to clarify the
that's gonna
spectrum
be,
of drugs
Yeah,
that
that's gonna
I'm
be
dealing
clipped
with.
and just hitting
Yeah.
all the. I've been hitting all the drugs. That's how you feel, Henni. Give them to me. But you've been
But
bouncing back across the pound, so that doesn't help your whole situation.
right. And so this is where it hurts my soul because I was meant to be there this week and I could not travel due to the pneumonia with a P. And so in my email inbox, I keep getting invites to like dinners and this and that, and it breaks my heart brand new, fresh every single time.
Well, this is an opportunity that you can definitely make some introductions and forward those emails to Doug and I, and I'm sure we could.
My ass gonna be right here. I just be honest with you.
Well,
It's
I'm down there, so
When you
just
leaving,
let you know.
you going?
I'm going Wednesday morning.
Which is today. So you're leaving today. So thank you.
I'm leaving today.
Because the podcast is coming out today. All right, Will,
Yes.
Henni, let's talk about it. Henni, you've been to Augusta. Will, I'm imagining you've been there as well. It's only so close to, Charlotte. A couple things. What do you look forward to about this week? And if you're on property, what do you have to do when you're there? Like, how do you juke and jive for the people that may be listening, that may be heading to the Masters? What's going on, Henni?
So when I was there, I lived for the pimento cheese sandwiches and the what is it, like the peach ice cream sandwich? Like basically just all the sandwiches. Like I basically just do a food tour of the
Yes.
Masters, and then they take every single cent, pound, pence, dollar that I have earned and saved over the last 10 years. The gift shop takes all of that merchandise, just says thank you very much, and I willingly just push it all over, and that's that. As it pertains to the golf course, I don't really have like a go here, do this, do that kind of guide. Maybe Will, you can do that more, but I remember just being blown away by like some of the undulations and the slopes and the runoff areas. They're so different to what you see on TV. There's like more space in some places and way less space in other places. Like 18 is super tight and really, really uphill. 16 is like really, really close to 15. And it's really small because you have to kind of walk back to the tee.
Mm-hmm.
And the grass is just like not real. When you step out onto it, you're literally going, is this real or is this AstroTurf? Like, what is real? And it's all real. It's just the most wild level of grass manicuring I've ever seen.
And that's the thing that excites me. Like, I always pay attention to the stuff I would never pay attention to until I get to Augusta. Like, going back to the grass. I like to take my shoes off to have my toes run against the grass. That's all I want to do. Just 1 or 2 grazes the blade with my big toe in between the ring toe. I don't want to get too graphic, but yeah, just like
I feel like you'll be arrested there.
I would. I'm all. I always. I always like living on the edge, and I really pay a lot of attention to the maintenance staff. Like that's a different type of staff there. The groundkeepers and those when they do the lawnmower and they do the V formation when they cut the grass or the fairways, whatever. So like that stuff really excites me. I'm like, man, I am about to eat my tuna sandwich, and I'm about to watch how they mow this grass. So those are stuff that excite me at Augusta.
Because I've never been. I've never even been close. I mean, nobody goes.
Well,
this is the only week people go to Augusta on purpose. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Like nobody
facts.
wakes up like in February. It's like, hey man, y'all trying to go to Augusta for what?
But the thing about it though, and I can't say that I've been to Augusta freely. Back in 2015, Ben Crenshaw's wife, actually, Miss Crenshaw, left me some tickets, and I went one time on Tuesday, and I was trying to cover everything, but I'm like you, man. I wouldn't mind, just kind of rub my toes against the grass again.
Like so my master story. So my master story is that I went in 2019. At the end of 2018, I got approached by Discovery for this job with Tiger. And then 2019, I moved to the US and I go to the Masters because I'm going everywhere that he goes. And I'm there on Tuesday, I think it was, just as a fan, doing all of the above that I said. And then I lived at the time in Jacksonville, which is drivable. It's like, 4 or 5 hours?
Yeah, it's not long.
So when did I drive back? I was back for it's always around the time of my husband's birthday. So I did a whole birthday thing for him. I think I drove out of there on Wednesday, went back home. And then, of course, Tiger's doing what Tiger did in 2019.
Yeah, you messed up.
And so
you messed up. That was a birthday to miss.
Drove back on Sunday morning, all the way back to Augusta from Jacksonville. And so got there. this is the worst. I think this is one of the worst mistakes I've ever made. I got a ticket, right? But when you go to, when you're on site, obviously everyone knows this, I'm sure. But when you're on site, you don't have a phone. And so I'm meant to be doing an interview after. It's literally the whole reason that I've driven there, to go and do the interview afterwards. So if I go there on site, on property, and I don't have my phone, then I've got to sprint back, get to every management company and brand and stuff. They all have these houses, right? So you've got the Nike house, the WME house, the TaylorMade house. Everyone has houses. Which, by the way, the best part, one of my favorite things about Masters Week, and the best part of these houses is all the snacks. Okay, I'm sorry to admit this, but when you watch the cut, no, I'm not joking. When you watch these movies, or you watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians or whatever, which I admit to have done one or two times.
Yeah.
Okay, and then on the counter, and in movies, right, they have all of these glass jars filled with all these amazing candies and da-da-da. But then imagine that in all the houses, plus the house you're staying in. And then in all these houses, they have all these chefs pulling out all these Masters themed everything. There's just this, you're inundated with food, and then peach iced tea. Everything's Augusta, Georgia themed, right? But I just ate my way through the houses. I think I put on 10 pounds that week just from being there on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday. Anyway, so that's a little side step. Right, so Sunday, I had a ticket to be on site, and I chose not to because I wouldn't be able to have my phone for the interview. So I spent the...
Hold on, you had a ticket. I thought she said, I thought she meant she got a speeding ticket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
no, I'm thinking. But actually,
I'm thinking you about to tell me the cop pulled out the car,
pulled me over. No, you had a day badge.
Put your face on it. Put your face on the hood. That's what I thought you.
You just reminded me that when I was driving there on the Sunday, I did get pulled over.
See, that makes me feel better about this story.
But let's see. Hold on, Henni. Hold on, Henni.
I pulled out my English driving license. So the cop comes in, and by the way, at this point, I'm brand new in America, so I have no idea about the black people and cops relationship in America. So I'm going from no, I'm not joking. I'm going from in England, we have a lovely relationship with the police. They're my friends. So
not in the South.
I'm there.
Not in this South.
I'm in.
Not with that color.
I'm not at Augusta yet. I'm not at Augusta. So I am in farm, middle of nowhere, Georgia.
Yeah.
Not near any. We know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm driving along like da 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 da, you know me, and this guy pulls me over.
Pleasantville.
Yes, and this guy pulls me over, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Hey,
So he
Mr.
like
Cop.
trots up, yeah. He trots up to the window, and I was like, oh hi, yeah, like I don't know these roads so well. Here's my driving license, and I pull out this English driving license, which is all I had at the time. And I think that was like my saving ticket because he's like, and then he tries to be all kind of like, oh, you know, like you would, I think I was doing like 70 and a 50. And he's like, I was just literally going to take you down to the jail. But like,
it's about right. It's about right. Keep going.
I'm like,
yeah,
I'm like, you're exaggerating, whatever. So then, and then he's like, but you have an English license. So usually I would take you to the jail and then I'm going to get this checked, like this English license, whatever, if it's even real, while you just sit in a jail cell. And I'm like, okay, sure, just give me my license back, let me go.
Oh,
and
Lord.
he did. I feel like my levels of confidence with the like, okay. I just put my hand out and I was like, okay.
See, that's like, where ethnic ambiguity can work to your advantage. Like, Will and I will
and the
never...
guy let me go. And then I called Ben and I'm like, what is that guy's problem? Like, he's talking about a jail. That's so ridiculous.
That's completely blissful ignorance right there. That's
complete. But I think about that time many times later, and I was like, if I'd have known now what I knew then, my reaction would have been so different. I'd have been like really scared. I think that maybe
you would have had all your paperwork together. You would have gave him a file of shit where he could.
Well, it would have been like that experience when you go through U.S. immigration and you're like, hi. I'm not smuggling anything. I'm good. This is really scary.
That's probably the only place I feel safe is in U.S. immigration because it's like I'm American.
No, U.S. immigration is horrible for everyone else who is not American.
Hey, but you know what? That's where like when I get pulled over, I always try to have something golf related around me so the cop can just be a little bit ease. I think one time I got pulled over. I put my wallet and sleeve of Strixons on the dashboard. I said, "Yo, bro, I come in peace, bro. I'm just trying to get my handicap low, and I'm trying to keep this interaction between us low. Everything. But Henni, you had something that nobody really have ever, had the opportunity when walking the grounds at Augusta. You walk on the ground.
I got sidetracked twice.
But here's what I'm saying. You walk on the ground.
But I still haven't finished my initial.
Oh yeah, what happened?
I had a ticket. So I had a ticket to Sunday in 2019 at Augusta after I avoided a ticket, and I didn't go. I didn't set foot inside the gates.
Well, you see this.
Well, also the thing is that I couldn't see the shots if I went there. So I'm thinking like I literally was like work mode. I've got to interview prep. I got to have my phone on me. I can't be going there. So I sat on the veranda at the IMG house, which is like right outside the gates, and I watched the whole thing. But that's my biggest. It's one of my big regrets in life.
You could have been hugged after Charlie. You realize that could have been.
But yes, but that's what I wanted. That's what I want to know. Like, so, do you flex like, hey, I'm with Tiger Woods and his crew? I'm with the staff of Tiger Woods.
In my damn phone.
Like, I mean, you could walk on sacred ground around Augusta that not everybody else had the opportunity to do that.
No, I mean, I'm just like anyone else.
No, not in that time. Not from, and I appreciate the modesty.
In that week. Not in that week in April. You're not just like everybody else.
Not that day. I'm wearing red right now on Wednesday. Trying to get ready for the Masters. I got 4 more days before I need to wear this shirt again.
So,
but I was so new to the job then. Like that was only my like 3rd tournament or something, or 4th tournament.
Oh gosh.
She was Henni Zool then. That's how she was acting. She wasn't Henni Koyak yet. Koyak came with the what up. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel like Koyak's a little more, even though the name doesn't suggest it, there's a little bit more Americanized, like black woman.
Yeah.
What up?
I'd agree with that.
Thank you. That's
that.
very kind. Okay, so you guys have been to the Masters. You've been on property.
Yeah.
We got to get into a lot of things, and I want to ask something that's really odd, but what's overrated about it? There's got to be something that's like, miss me with that shit, Augusta. Okay, that's good.
I think, no, if
You know what's happening right now? Will and I are calculating what we can and can't
Yes,
say.
exactly. I'm like,
if we
hey,
ever want to go to Augusta again.
hey,
You know,
You got to
it's
be
interesting,
calculated
though,
because
'cause,
it's
like,
on the record. I'm
hey,
just
'cause I
saying, no,
said,
there's got to be
you should have
something.
seen. You should have seen. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna say that.
I mean,
No.
look, I saw the lines at the pro shop or the merchandise tent yesterday were an hour and a half, 2 hours long. Like that's got to suck too. Like you're gonna waste all that time to sit there to buy some stuff when you can go catch 2 or 3 hours worth of watching players prepare on this beautiful, well manicured soil. That's great. I'll add that.
What is overrated about Augusta?
I'll wait. Don't worry. I'm not saying shit until I get a response.
My plastic cups that I buy in Augusta are done after 3 washes in the dishwasher.
Yeah, I had the same experience at the Players with an aluminium one. That was really sad.
What?
Yeah.
What did you say? Did you say aluminium?
Yes, because
What is
I'm
that?
English.
It's
and we speak
aluminum. It's
properly,
aluminum. She
not
said
aluminum. Does it have 2 O's in it?
Ain't no O's in it.
ALOOM. So it's aluminium because it's a U.
I was about to be like, you know her? She went to school with me. She graduated with me. Aluminium. That's my home. I haven't taught her in years.
Okay, so the cup washing. I got a cup from Pinehurst that has not died yet. I've washed this thing every week. Renty's milk cup. That's what it is now. But okay. So all right, Henni, you've been there. You love it. We got food, all right, and we're gonna get to some things. And I want to just take a peek at some of the items through Tiger Woods' career that he's hosted. You know, he hosts that Champions Dinner. That's gonna be yesterday because we're recording this on a Tuesday and it's coming out Wednesday. Yeah, I said it. But Kobe, let's go ahead and flash up that 98 Masters dinner. And Henni, when you look at this, and I know it's probably been a while since you've seen this menu, what sticks out now knowing T-Dub the way you do?
I think chicken? It's just him in a nutshell, isn't it?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
French fries. He wouldn't touch the strawberry. He would just have the vanilla milkshake. The steak. I can't see him having. I think. Do you know what? I looked through this. This is on an Instagram post, and I looked through all the different ones. And in each menu, I think what you got to do is like you're playing host, right? So you got to have the things that you love because this is like your last meal. Like I can have whatever I want, but then you also got to think about other people on there. So it's quite funny when you look at it to see like who has what on there for themselves and who's got what on there for other people's. Like Ben Crenshaw had everything served family style. Like each one has different little nods towards the things that they love. Adam Scott had Australian wines. Obviously Hideki Matsuyama's was all Japanese, but then it was like Japanese strawberry shortcake, and it was like, yeah, it's cool. And so everyone, I think, tries to like have things that they love, but also think that other people would love. So if I look at this TW menu, the things that he loves is cheeseburger, French fries, vanilla milkshake, steak.
Let's look at Tiger Woods' menus throughout the years, because I doubt anybody's done this. So we went to 98. That was his first time. We got hamburgers and stuff. Okay, now, Henni, knowing what you do know, how does this make you? Because I feel like we're seeing the progression of a bank account as we continue on, as well as, you know, Tiger rising up in stature. So now the sushi and sashimi, seasonal greens, porterhouse, chicken, of course. Henni, what do you see here?
Okay, so he loves sushi. The salad, steak, given, same as the last time. Mashed potatoes, solid. Chocolate cake, I'm not so sure, but the vanilla ice cream, yes.
Fast forward, he wins again, back-to-back years. Now Tiger, sushi and sashimi looks familiar. He actually switched the potatoes up from 2002 into 2003, Will, and he added some jumbo lump crab cakes. I respect it. Same menu overall.
He's getting bougie.
It's getting bougier. It is getting bougier. And now the wine switch to Napa Valley, you know, cruise. So
it's not
that.
Moscato.
No Moscato. Now, fast forward. Went from 2003, now 3 years later, he wins the 05 Masters. He comes back, and now this is what we're talking about. I don't even know how to say the word. That's why I avoided it. Antojitos and botanas.
All right.
All right, so switch it all up. Went Mexican. Now, look, I feel like Tiger won this tournament so many times. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna switch this whole shit up. Let's go Mexican night here. It's Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday here at the Masters.
I like it.
We're gonna post all these things. He had salad every day, but okay, steak or the fajitas? Which or steak or chicken in the fajitas? Tiger's going steak, I'm guessing.
I would assume he'd go both.
All right.
Steak and chicken.
And shout out to Kobe for doing this research and finding all these menus. This was not easy to do. I tried to help and failed. So there was a long hiatus. Now we go fast forward to all these years later, and Tiger served this the year that Dustin Johnson won the Masters. Straight up different. Just let's go. There's no rules with this menu. We going with some sushi. We having prime rib. I'm gonna bring them fajitas back. Like, it looked like Tiger didn't give a damn this year at this menu. He's like, y'all, I've done this enough. Y'all figure it out.
Nah, he's a little more health conscious. I see some grilled vegetables up in here. he thinking about the arteries. I'm not mad at him.
Well, I appreciate the stroll down memory lane. Now we got to actually get into it. Will, what do you think? And let me start here. I don't think he has a chance in hell to win.
Oh, hell no. Not even close.
We're talking about Tiger. But that being a reality, who do you think can win this week?
I mean, for the sake of messiness.
Come on. All right. Give me some messy.
Just for the sake of messiness.
We got to get a little bit.
I'm hoping a live guy will win. Just for the sake of hopefully bringing golf together again. Hopefully
make golf great again. Is that what you just said?
Yes, we can bring golf together again. I don't know if I would give that guy any credit or anything, but make golf come together again. If we have a live guy win, and I don't know if it can come across as ABA, NBA type thing back in the day or what have you, but have these guys come together, because I heard that there's a live guy in contention. A lot of the live guys are going to come out to the 18th green or the 72nd hole, and they're going to witness. And I don't know if that is a more picturesque images for drama to occur or to ensue. But for the sake of golf and coming together again, I'm hoping live a guy win, because it got to the point, even when you think about it in the media. I've been watching, golf, the master coverage on various networks. And when somebody's giving a report or speaking positive about live, you should see how the reporter backtrack and support why they're saying good things about live. It kind of reminds me of Fox News. When they say something truthful, they still have to back it up with something crazy.
Hold on, real quick, completely off topic, because you just reminded me of something. Am I the only one that does this, that downloads the Masters app the week and then deletes it right after the week is open? Like, this app lives on my phone for like 6 days and is gone. Sorry, Will. I know you made a valid point, but let me reinsert this, because I want to talk about tee times and where the live guy sits. But Will, in a weird way, and Henni, I'm gonna pause here. Do you want to jump in right now and speak to Will's point? Because it's rare that I agree with the dread-headed eighth wonder of the world, but I'm in favor of a live guy winning this week, and I'll go so far as to say Brooks Koepka. Boom, I said it. I think Brooks can contend. He and I shared some words at the live event. I actually went to see him play. He's a friend of mine still to this day, and we cheated it last episode, and we talk about today. I went to live Tucson. Brooks said, and I quote, "I have worked harder on my game than ever before. I am grinding."
But Doug, here's my question: Are the live, as we have another guest on Beyond the Fairway?
It's evening. This is Finn Koyak, my firstborn son.
Finn. Four-legged.
Just not to you. Just not
beautiful.
Just not to me. No,
for everybody.
He's adopted.
But here's the thing, though: these live players aren't really getting the reps that they need. So when you said that Brooks is working harder on his game, I believe that, because they're still not getting the deep field that a PGA Tour player that would get week in, week out. So if he's more in tune in his game, watch out. Or is he just working hard in his game just to get back to normalcy when he left the PGA Tour? That's my question.
He did win the league series last week. Hear how I said that. So he beat everybody, all 50 people last week in 3 days in Orlando. I'm not saying that he's playing awesome or playing bad. I'm just saying he beat everybody out there last week. And if you look at a guy like Brooks Koepka, I want to add this, Henni, and I don't get your response, because look at Brooks. Had the wrist injury, back playing on the PGA Tour, went through some things, got a lot of bad media. Brooks, the way that Netflix painted him as some like fallen star. Yeah, fallen star, villain, etc. But you talk about the way live works and the amount of time that guys have off. For Brooks Koepka, that's a good thing. He had time to kind of rehab and get back healthy. And now getting back healthy, it looks like he's playing better golf. And Henni, I'll let you jump in here because these are the reasons why I think Brooks has a chance being fresh this week at Augusta.
Yeah, I don't think I have like a very strong pro or against opinion at the moment. I think it's very hard for me to separate out, as I'm sure it is for you, like some of the friendships that you have with
fair point,
people that have chosen either side. So I think from my perspective, I have my friends typically are PGA Tour, and I would even count Jay Monahan as a friend. So I feel like it's very difficult for me to think in a very pro-live stance, but like my personality in general is similar to what you're saying, Will, is that like at the Players, for example, with that leaderboard, I just was like, you feel like you miss seeing the best players in the world compete against each other. Like that's ultimately what it's all about as competitors, as athletes. Like you just want to see you want to see the best competition. And I think sometimes there's a question mark because you don't know, like you said, Doug, Brooks won last week. But what is that strength of field really like in comparison to what we're seeing week in, week out? Is it equal to, better, lesser than? I don't have an opinion on like whether it is or not. I'm just saying like all these things are floating around. And so I think ultimately, from my point of view, I'm just really interested to see how the live players, the sharpness of their games in comparison to the rest of the field who've been playing PGA Tour. So I do like that the live guys get to play majors because you get to see everyone come together and you see, all right, now this is our benchmark, isn't it now, the majors? Let's see where these guys are at. Yeah, I think that's my take.
And you can see, like, it's not shown obviously on a forefront, but when you look at it as if in the background, like I think I saw an interview, I think they were interviewing maybe Roy McIlroy, but I saw in the background where Bubba Watson and Tony Finau were having a great exchange. Like you can see the friendship. You know, there's these guys are greeting each other again, seeing each other again, and on a obviously at a monumental stage. That's what I love to see again, and that's why I wish we can kind of get rid of this whole thing. They can figure something out so we can really see the people in the world back at it and making something happen again.
Well, that's tough because look, you made your bed up, Brooks, Phil, Cold Crack, Gooch. Look, y'all said to hell with this tour, and I get it, whatever. But I do like the majors where they can come back and test themselves now with the best players in the world. And I actually thought the coverage that I've watched this week, I'm very proud and happy that they haven't made it so divisive. I think last year it was a very divisive coverage. Like they over there, we over here. It's this, this head-butting clash. I've watched coverage literally all day this morning here on the Pacific Coast, and it's actually even Eamon Lynch was almost pleasant. He took his shots like Eamon often does. He's our colleague, so I can talk shit. But it seems, Henni, as if everybody's bosses that are media have said, let this live stuff just go by the wayside. Let's just talk straight golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you were always going to have to get to that point because you don't know how long it's going to stay around for. You don't know what the TV deals are going to be in the future. You just don't know. Like I said, there's so many question marks still. Is it going to fall by the wayside? Is there going to be a way for these guys to get back in? Like, you don't want to. I think the golf industry is so small, and I cannot emphasize that enough in
So
terms of
small.
the fact that
Mhm.
everyone knows everyone. And I think we all care, right? Everyone that we know out there, we know their kids' names, we know what they go through week in, week out. Like, that's something that I'm not sure many people really truly understand from the outside. Like you were just saying about Amen. Like I genuinely feel like if I was at a tournament and I had an issue, there'd be like 30 people from the TV compound to the media center that I could genuinely go to with like a very personal issue
Hmm.
and talk to and help me out.
Ha-
And
have there been like in some of your I guess viewing and watching some of the master coverage, are analysts are they referring to some of the wins or some of the I guess things that they achieved on the live tour? Because I know sometimes I like watching how commentators kind of dance around that a little bit. Well, he has 2 top finishes on the other tour. You know,
No, from what I've seen, Will, they haven't even covered it. The most coverage I saw of the guys that played live, and look, let's just be honest. This is the first time I've felt free enough to even talk about live.
right?
You know what I
It
mean?
was
Like,
that
I'll
was the
be honest.
boogeyman.
Not that I'm trying to avoid it, but it's just like it kind of feels like they kind of jumped off the boat and we ain't seen them because the coverage is over here and they over there. But when I look at the coverage today, I haven't seen a lot of people hark on what they've done at live. It's been what they've done on the PGA Tour.
And this is where it's going to be interesting to see collectively how these guys will finish. Like, does the money just make you fat and just like I'm just eating well and I'm not really on my square when it comes to my game. So I collectively I really hope that these guys play well, man. I do, and I'm sorry, I do.
I have a fun fact moving on about my Masters weekend and how I'm going to be spending it because I was going to say, what rituals do you guys have when you're watching the Masters? Obviously, Will,
Yeah.
you're going to go there.
Mm-hmm.
But we had this chat in the studio at the weekend. Some people were like, I like to light the candles and just chill. Other people were like, I'm all party, invite friends around, get some beers. I think my vibe is like, whatever is going to get me to stay on the couch and watch as much as possible. So, like, ordering in, everything's around me. I'm getting myself situated. I'm not inviting people over because I don't want to hear people's commentary. I hate that. Like, I just want to watch it in peace and quiet on my own. And that's it. How about you guys?
I'm a crowd watcher. I like to be with the people. I have some homies over, have some beverages. I don't really have I have a tradition for the Masters, and since I've had a son, we will take a traditional photo in black and red. That's the thing that we started his first year that he was alive, and so
Aw.
now I have 2 of those photos. So this will be the 3rd one. So I'm actually looking forward to having that one, and that's gonna be that's my little tick on the door frame to watch my kid
Mm-hmm.
grow. It's like we're just gonna
Nice.
take Masters photos every year, and
Very nice.
and so that's what I'm looking forward to the most. And trying to find a red polo for a toddler, very difficult.
Yes, I can imagine. Will?
I like the half and half thing. I think I think the Thursday and Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday leading up, I'm all party. That's just we going in. Since I'm not on property, I'll try my best rendition of a master's drink that is more expensive. But that Saturday, Sunday, I like to focus. I'm acting like I'm playing. I want to focus and
Yeah.
see who's all out there and watch extended coverage, that is streaming and try to find my little Cinderella pick in a way. And I'm a big I like to place a couple bucks on the majors, especially the Masters. So, when I'm rooting for that dark horse, I go all in. So yeah, I'm more of the quiet type on the weekend, but I can get a little rowdy during the weekday.
So
All right.
my weekend, I'm hosting a Masters breakfast show at Sky, and I did it
Knock us out of the park.
last year, and it was my first time doing it. And then this year, they said to me, "Who would you like as your co-host?" And I was like, "Wait, what? I can choose?"
So you gonna
And
pick?
they
Who
were
you gonna
like,
pick? It's
"I'm
like
sorry,
it's like the maid of honor. Who you picking?
I've already chosen. I had to stick with my girl. I've got Shy Woods coming.
That's such a cop out, man. She cool. I mean, she all right.
Wait, time out. Is she
So
coming
I've
over
got
there or is she coming over here? How y'all doing this?
Shy's flying in from New York, and then I've managed to. Actually, my master's watching. I've just realized it's going to have to be a shared participation act this year with her. She's flying in on Friday, and then we're hosting our master's breakfast show together Saturday, Sunday.
All right, send me a link so I can watch it. I'll be honest, I don't know how to watch Sky over here. You're gonna have to give. How do Americans watch Sky? How can we find you over there?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to find that out because I couldn't figure it out while I was there. But worst case, I will send you a copy of the show.
Hey, Doug, if there ever was such a beautiful pitch that was a whip.
All right, she built it straight up. Had no idea how to get out. Come to Master's Breakfast with me and Cheyenne Woods, and you can find it on Sky. And
Doug says, "So how we watch Sky?" Let me get right back to you. I love it.
back to you after these messages.
All right. Right. As part of my final Henni return Velvet Hammer segment, I've got a little Henni controversy.
Henni, here we go. This is what I mentioned. Hold on, you gotta give it a break. Let us breathe a little bit in case we want to put some music or something in. Okay. The Velvet Hammer. I just made that up. Okay, freestyle. Velvet Hammer time. Henni, in 3, 2, 1, let it out.
All right, I've got to speak to, and this is not my sport, right? Over here in the UK, basketball, especially women's basketball, is not huge. But I obviously was following along March Madness, and on social media, I saw that the viewing figures for the women's college basketball was higher than any NBA game this season, which is insane.
Massive.
And I'm saying that first on purpose because my ultimate bugbear is that was overshadowed. And I don't think that's by accident. Like, when we're talking about women's sport, I think that the conversations are so different to what they are in men's sport, and it really irritates me because that was a really cool conversation early on in the week. Let's go rewind it back to, was it March Madness last year or the year before, where the conversation was about the women's gyms and how the women's gym was like teeny tiny and the men's one. Okay, now this year we've got so that's like kind of highlight, like this is a negative. This year we've got something really, really, really cool, these viewing figures. And it's so important because everyone is always saying, why don't women make more money in sport? And the answer is always because you don't have as many people watching it, and therefore you don't have as many sponsors, so you don't have as much money in the game. So that's why this was such a huge stat for me to be able to see that overshadowed any NBA game. That's huge. And then this is what really irritates me. It got overshadowed by some celebrations, by the way that people were celebrating in the game. So Caitlin Clark from Iowa, and sorry if this is like a little juttery coming from me, but you know when it's like just not your sport and you have to really think about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm talking about golf. It's like da-da-da-da. All right, Caitlin Clark from Iowa. She did the whole John Cena like you can't see me, and I can't speak to like her stats and stuff, but my understanding is she's a pretty fire player. She's had an insane season, super well respected, was having a great game. At the time that she did that, I think Iowa were up. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then
she just made a play as well, so she was hype riding high.
Right. So she was like, I just did this, like, you can't see me, I'm awesome, da-da-da, boom. Heat of the moment, cool. Then Angel Reese at the end, when I think LSU had won, or were on the verge of winning, or maybe they were still playing, but it had been clear that, anyway, whatever. You get the point. She then taunts her back and was sort of saying, hey, how you like me now? Like, now you can't see me. And I didn't get the pointing at the ring finger thing.
Because they're going to get a championship ring. They're going to get a championship ring. And so you can't see me.
Now you can't see me behind my championship ring kind of
There
vibe.
You go. That's what that's how that works.
And so she got a ton of criticism for this. This is all anyone was talking about. Which annoys me because there were so many better conversation points as it pertained to women's basketball and sport, but okay. So everyone's talking about this, and then I think the general vibe was that then it became a race thing of like it's okay for her to do, but not okay for me to do. And then people were saying that it was a class thing. And so I was innocently not knowing any of this. That my husband walks in, who like follows all sports and he's American. And he was like, hey, like this happened. I want to get your take on it. And so I watched the thing, and I think my initial take was like, I'm going to be honest, my initial take was like, oh, that was a little uncalled for. Like, but then I'm English as well. So you have to realize that we're not very outwardly like, I'm awesome, I beat you, ha. We're very, like, it's drilled into us from a very young age. Like, you have to be graceful in victory and graceful in defeat. And so I like that way of being personally. And so if that was me, I probably wouldn't have done that. And I didn't super like the reaction. But I probably wouldn't showboat in the first place anyway. But then I'm a golfer. So, like, golf, how would you even showboat in golf? That's so different from the energy and everything that you're feeling in women's basketball or basketball in general. So that was just my take. But then I had seen, that was before I'd seen that it was a race thing. I didn't have a race in my mind at this point. All I was seeing was from like a sportsmanship point of view. And then the conversation went to race, and that she felt like she was always criticized for being too much, and that this was her saying like, this is part of my culture. And eventually she said the quote that we see, I want to take on that role of being a Black woman that's going to stand up for the girls that may not have a voice. So she was feeling like, hey, maybe you're bullying me and I'm going to come back at you with this. So it's just so interesting though, people take it to so many different levels. And it's kind of like, I think based on your experience, because like I was saying about the whole speeding ticket thing earlier, like what goes into your head and what the battle that you think you're fighting for or what's triggering you and why is so different for each individual person, depending on their experience and the country that they're within and their personal experience growing up as well. That's my take. What are your guys'
this is what pisses me off about this current climate in the world that we live in, because you can take people from different backgrounds, different sexes, different ethnicities, do the same shit and get different reactions. So if you look at the two instances, the player from Iowa did it, and Twitter was, oh my goodness, she's such a fierce competitor. Wow, she plays with so much fire and passion. Look at this young lady from Iowa. Look how great and graceful she is in this moment. It was the narrative that Twitter put on the Caucasian player for doing the face thing. Then the Black player does the face thing a few minutes later in response to the initial reaction or the initial, stimuli. So then Twitter, overall people on Twitter, oh, look at this hood chick. How she's ghetto. She's disrespectful. This is horrible for the game. This is so bad. This is how these Black players do. And it's like, whoa. The white girl did the same thing first. And you're saying that she's a great sportsman. Look how fiery. Look how competitive she is. Then the Black girl does it back. And now she's ghetto. She's hood. She comes from a place of inferiority. And that's where I feel like that's when it hit me as a bigger issue in sport, because not only you look at two women doing the same exact thing from two different teams, two different ethnic backgrounds, but yet the Black girl's racist and the white girl is playing with so much sportsmanship. That's how I looked at it.
I agree, but
don't be neutral, Will. Don't be neutral.
I'm not being neutral. I'm being candid. I think it became too hood because the Black girl, my girl Angie, was a little too excessive with it. That's what I'm being at.
I agree with that.
So
it was done differently. It was done differently. She was done differently. And she was following her around, and she was trying to get a reaction.
Exactly. So she provided the media with the entryway to being too hood. If you compare the two, right? They both did the same action, but one was a little boastful than the other, And so yes, it shouldn't be classified as hood ghetto, but if you give somebody the avenue to go down that road, I mean, she did it. And I think she was a little too excessive with it. And that's just my opinion.
It's interesting because like before I hadn't seen anything on social media, right? You take race out of it and you just go from like sportsman or woman point of view, I'm with Will. Like, I saw it and I was like, oh, that's not cool. Like,
Yeah, it
I
was a little
wouldn't
too
personally
much.
do that. Like, there's okay, but then I think, like you said, to this day and age we're living in, it's just such a fine line to walk, because then you put race in on top of that. Like, if they were both black or if they were both white, then what are
It
you
wouldn't
looking
matter.
at? Like, is it annoying that you're looking at race and you're not actually just looking at the action in and of itself and how that was done? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And in all fairness, um, you know, Caitlin Clark responded, in a New York Post, that she didn't think, there should be any criticism for what Angela did.
Angel.
So what Angel did. So I mean that's good that she responded to that. But in my opinion, as a Negro on the side looking, I thought Angel was a little too much, if you ask me.
That's what the Velvet Hammer segment is for.
I love
It's
it.
for invoking these conversations. All
And,
right, let's finish up on a nicer note, because I see that Doug's like spitting daggers at us
no,
here.
I'm not. No, I'm not daggering. No, I just no.
So hold on, Doug. Hold on, before we go. Hold on. So Doug, do you not agree that she was too much, Angel? Doug. You know us.
I know us, and I know she from Baltimore, and B more cats can be a little, you know what I'm saying, a little different.
They different.
Let me tell you something. As heightened as she was on the brink of winning a national championship and having the disrespect thrown in her face by a player that she in turn then busted ass on, I don't think she was over the top. I think she was, watch your mouth. You did this to me on some like little baby girl stuff, but you don't know you messing with, and I'm gonna give it right back to you. So I look at that more as a shut the hell up and you provoked me. So I'm a little different at the level of which she responded. That's just me, and I will not agree with you on this one, Will.
But you know what? Like, I guess here's my thing. Like, if you think, I was thinking about like tennis, for example, where you get those kind of reactions, and some people love Roger Federer because he's like classy, classy, class. And then other people like, what's the name of your dude that is super
John
fiery,
McEnroe?
the Aussie guy? No, the
Oh,
Aussie guy, the young guy. And he's like Marmite. Like, people either love him or hate him.
right. I don't know.
Nick Kyrgios.
Yeah.
Thank you, Colby, our producer. Nick Kyrgios, right? Okay, but here's my overall issue. When you're talking about Nick Kyrgios versus Roger Federer, you're talking about their fire. The wording is different. You're talking about their fire as it pertains to their talent and how good they are. The conversations between men's sport and women's sport and how it's spoken about is just very different. And I don't see that this could be something like Doug likes that style of celebration. Will doesn't. That's cool. Doesn't have to be like it's just so
Black and
everything in
white.
America, you guys make it so divisive. Yeah, and literally black and white.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree.
It all, Henny, it all depends on where you come from. I'll say that.
Does. It does.
We all have different walks, backgrounds, how we got to this very moment. And I think I've seen and felt and been a part of a lot more racial hurdles than I think a lot of people in this our current climate have had to jump. So I've got a different background when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. There's a space of where you want it to be, but it doesn't always be like that. And it's unfortunate because our culture the way we are. Yes.
Henny, you said on a lighter note. I'm still trying to figure out when this light is coming.
Okay. By the way, have we on record, speaking of light, given me credit for getting a ring light? Yeah. Because you've given me so much shit for not getting a ring light that now I feel like I need to be given credit, because last time you were all like, oh, she could just go on Amazon and get a ring light.
Henny, I am very pleased at the effort in which you have gone out, used your hard-earned dollars to purchase lights so that we can see that spectacular jawline that you possess. So thank you, Hennisha Koyak. It is much appreciated.
Thank you. All right, that's the first lighter note. The second lighter note,
Literally, a
the
lighter
the little lighter note, is who is your Masters pick? Well,
my master pick is probably going to be Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth, he's kind of like Jesus sometimes. You don't know when he's going to show up, but when he shows up, it's always on time and it's always at the Masters.
He might not come when you want.
He might not come when you want to, but sometime when he step on that property, he just get the Holy Ghost.
Wow. Jordan Spieth and Jesus. Woo!
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a note to finish it. I mean, yeah.
Well, you know my pick. I already said it, and I'm not backing down. I'm taking his words as valid. He's a 4-time major winner that likes to show up in majors. He might like to party and some things on the side, but I tell you, when it does come down to the spotlight, this guy wants it. He also has a lot of cash, and he's had time to heal from a wrist surgery. I'm going Brooks Koepka. I'm going on the other side of the fence here.
Okay. I have 3.
No, you gotta pick
one.
How
you get 3?
No. I know you're the queen of Beyond the Fairway, but no, damn it,
you are the queen. You get a pick.
You get one
Matter
pick.
Matter of fact,
we're gonna put a wager.
Hold
on. We're gonna put a you get one, and we're gonna put a wager on it. I got Jordan Spieth. Doug, you going with
Bruce Cupcake.
Who are you going with? The one person you're going with. Now to mess her up. she
going for history.
Hey, she like
history.
She like Keela the Bee. She was tapping.
So you know it itches too. Like,
I'm malfunctioning.
Like the Fembot and Austin Powers. Like
R2D2 out here.
That's a fantastic reference.
Thank you. I appreciate your reference.
You can always, like, if anyone ever meets me and they're like, I want to be friends with Henni. Like, how do I get to be friends with Henni? Does any Austin Powers reference? And we're good. Or feed me.
All right, who we going?
I'm gonna go with
only uno, only one. Kobe, we're gonna cut it after she does this. I don't want to hear the other two. I'm kidding.
Rory.
He's going to complete it this week. This is going to be week he's going to complete. This is the week.
Yep. He's going to have his holy moment there.
His holy moment.
Okay. This is probably the better time. I want to say he's probably more prepared entering to the Masters more than any other Master.
He's had a ton on his mind. Obviously, he was disappointed at the Players' Championship. I feel like some of that stress has fallen away slightly, and he's just been home focusing, preparing, grinding. Looked good at the match play. Now he's ready. It's his time.
Can he become the 6th player to complete the career Grand Slam, Henni? You think so?
Wait, what we got on that?
Yeah, what we put on
Will. You made it up. How we Will don't pay. He pays later.
Dinner.
We'll play dinner. When you come back to the States? When we're all going to be together?
Can I? Okay, wait. I know. Okay, dinner, but we get to do it like Master style, where we get to choose, like, we're going here to start with, then here for our main, and then here for dessert.
This sounds expensive. That's fine.
Yep.
But I will say this. I do find it, like, it's weird that if we do this, because odds are we'll see you again at the PGA Championship. So
which
is
a
Masters-based situation.
Months?
I'm just saying Masters-based situation.
US Open. I'm actually not at the PGA Championship.
All right.
I'll be at the US Open. Perfect.
All right, I'll be at the US Open.
Which is LA.
LA.
So we got choices on.
Oh, I'm gonna get in y'all pockets. I'm gonna get in y'all pockets.
You know what? We'll talk about it next episode. Hey man, appreciate y'all rocking with us right here beyond the fairway. Henni's making it rain. Will got his hat backwards, dread-headed, wonder of the world, and me, I'm taking the other side of the fence. We appreciate y'all rocking with us right here, Golf Channel NBC beyond the fairway. We'll be back with a new Masters champion. Will it be Rory? Will it be Brooks? Will it be Jordan? Jesus? Matter of fact, I'm referring to Jordan as Jesus if he wins this week. I'm out of here. I'll holler at you.